Hey everyone, thanks for joining. This is CryptoVatsik. Nothing of what you're about to see is considered financial advice, and they're just my opinions. If you do enjoy this content, I would really appreciate it if you gave this video a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for future updates. Okay, today's TA video is going to be covering Theta. We're on the daily here on Binance. And so the markings that you see on the chart currently are really just from my previous video, which I will share with you up here right now if you want to go back and look. But basically, it was really simple. My idea was that we had an area of consolidation from back here, way back here in 2020. Okay, and so I had marked out that area of consolidation, and really that just gave me the swing high here. Okay, from this guy down to the swing low. Okay, from right there, and we had some points of confluence right here with these previous highs as resistance on that level. But ultimately, what it did was it just marked out that ideal buy zone that I had set, and so this is straight from that last video when we were trading right back here. Okay, we were trading right around there at the time. And so I had marked out this area and I said, I think we're coming down here. It's my ideal buy zone. We might not get it or we might get lower, right? But ideally for me, that's where I start to get interested in taking positions for the long term. And so now if you look at the current chart, we are in that buy zone. Okay, we did come down, we've entered it. But it doesn't mean I blindly just start to accumulate in this zone. I start to look for lows to establish, okay? And then some points of consolidation where we've established a low rather than this just continuous chop down like that, right? So that's what I'm looking for. Now I'm paying more attention in this area for the long term. This coin is down 95% ish. So it's not untypical to see a lot of altcoins like that. Doesn't mean they can't recover, but I just wanted to recap that super quickly. It was really simple from this area of consolidation. I think below this area, we've got some larger evaluations to do across the market. But now I am starting to get interested, at least in this area, for a bear market rally, some sort of push. And you just gotta play it as you see every day, as you see price action develop. Okay, but just that was the quick recap. So let's go back to the other chart now and just do some TA on currently what we're seeing. Okay, so I've just marked out these three areas of interest in green, okay, and they're really just those areas of consolidation during our last bull cycle. And I just think it's important to go back and look because as we start to distribute down, we start to see those areas of consolidation being respected as support until it's lost, right? So we come back down, we tested the upper band of this area, this range of this consolidation. 1, 2, 3, 4, four times as support until it was lost and then deviated above that level as resistance twice before dropping down to the next area of consolidation, the upper band of this area back here that we had in January 2021. Okay, we tested it twice as support until it was lost. Okay, and we dropped back down, and then that's why I had basically marked out this area as my ideal area of interest because nothing in here at the time said I would expect a bottom to form. Okay, there's just no points of interest. There's no established support or resistances in this area. Really just kind of a really strong trending price, just really strong trend to the upside at that time. So we kind of hovered, okay, we really tried to establish an area of support, but it really just kind of deviated below, just really choppy. Came into supply, rejected, okay, and then just this steady grind down, not respecting these lows, okay, just continuously steadying down until we found some demand, had a nice push up into supply again, rejected, okay, so then we eventually did make our way down, front ran here a little bit, but ultimately came back down, and now we are inside this buy zone, okay, so we're inside this area of consolidation that consolidated all the way from September 2020 to December 2020. Okay, so quite a lengthy area of consolidation that we had in there, accumulation, reaccumulation, whatever you call it. I think this would be reaccumulation, but anyways, the point is that we've come into that zone. However, I do think that we would probably see a test of the lower area of this consolidation, the lower area of this range, with the EQ being somewhere in here, just around 67 cents. Okay, so that's currently what I'm seeing. That's where we're in there right now. So let's get into more what we're seeing here. Okay, so first off, let's mark out that range from the swing high. Okay, so right here, swing high, down to the swing low, okay, and we'll drag that over. Okay, so we've got this range now that I believe we're back inside, as you can see. Okay, we've lost the upper band of this range here as support. We've lost it. It's now resistance. We're currently getting rejected. We could potentially see a deviation up into this breakdown level before heading back down, but I think that we ultimately do come back down and test the lower band of this range. We've got some more confluence here, okay, with these highs, this high here and this high here, ultimately on the lower band right there of this range that we're seeing. Okay, so I do think that this level's untested and we'll still test this in the near future. Theta has really been respecting in the short term time frame here, it's really been respecting some SR flips. Okay, on a real high time frame, you can just notice these support levels being lost and then their resistance. Okay, it's just key SR theory. Just very simple, right? Coming down, you lose a level, you bearishly retest it, you come back down. So basically, if you're looking to trade this in the short term, you could say, okay, basically we've lost this level of support right now. Back here with the origin of the breakdown right there. Okay, so possibly, like I said, we come back down, we chop a little bit more in this area of supply at this point until we reject elevator down and then lose that low and ultimately come down. And first, I would expect test the equilibrium, okay, of this range, and then possibly more of a range or chop within this area, and then for an eventual retest of the lower band of the range. We are now well below the monthly open right here. Okay, so the monthly open essentially just this previous area of support that we had until we had a bit of a short squeeze up. Okay, we lost that level to the downside, established this new area of support, came back up, and this was just our sweep, just our SR, like I said, SR rejection at this area, which was our monthly open right here until it was rejected, and we tested this again and it was just immediately lost. Okay, so we're quite far below the monthly open at this point, so I wouldn't really expect a push that high unless we get a real bear market rally and flip this level first. That's possible, but ultimately I'm really just looking at this level right now since we're just respecting the resistance, these resistances or previous supports being flipped into resistances. I'm looking at that level now for a target down to the equilibrium. Let's jump into the 4 hour now, a little bit lower time frame. So clearly we've got, like I said, these areas of support being flipped, previous resistance. Okay, so we've got this area, these two areas. Okay, so this was our key resistance area when we had this truncated bottom. Okay, so basically these two wick, tweezer bottom, double bottom, truncated bottom down here. Okay, until we broke to the upside, we flipped this level into support, we've retested it. Okay, and then basically same thing, we had this area of resistance up here. I don't know if this is a clean breakout. I would have liked to have seen a higher breakout. We're still struggling with this very brief area of consolidation on this little wick or this little candle right there. It does seem to be temporarily holding at this point, okay, but we've pierced it. We've come back through at this point. I would have liked to have seen a stronger move to the upside with a brief wick down to that level to really look for a long. So the fact that we're chopping around it right now is a sign of weakness. If this level does hold, here's how I'd play it. Okay, so let's just get rid of these guys for a second here. So basically we've got our leg here. Okay, so this is our leg that from the breakdown right here. Okay, this was our impulsive leg. So we'll take our fib for the full move of that leg. Get rid of these lines just to clean it up. Okay, so we've got our full move here. Okay, from essentially the beginning of this move down to the top. Okay, so I'd be personally looking if this level at the 50th percentile here on the fib does hold, I'd be looking for a test of the 786 with the assumption that the trend is going to continue to the downside. Okay, so with that assumption, we'd be coming up here. We'd basically be sweeping this previous high, okay, this high of supply up here, and I'd be looking at the 786 and then a break in market structure up here where we get something like that, okay, and then I'd be looking to go short on that break in market structure if you're confident enough to take it up here at the high with your stop loss above that high, or if you're waiting for confirmation, so to speak, you wait for that market structure break here and you enter on that bearish retest. Key criteria being the break in market structure. If we do not get that break in market structure, okay, if this just continues to push, okay, if this just continues to push up, then I will just let price continue to push to the next high, right? So if we don't get that and we get another leg like this, we've just got these steady legs, consolidation, leg, consolidation. If we get another leg like this and some consolidation and we break this level, okay, this supply level right here that I showed you right there, that origin of the breakdown, if we're able to consolidate in that zone and get another leg up, then ultimately I'm targeting up here around 96 cents, okay, that previous high. It would lead me to believe that we are getting another push, a really good bear market rally, if we continue to see these legs and then consolidation like we're seeing on the low time frame. ultimately with the expectation that we would still be coming back down lower. Okay, so back to this range. Let's get that range back up here. Okay, from the swing high to the swing low. Okay, so with the expectation that we'd at least still be coming back down to the equilibrium here. So, if we can regain the upper band of this range, and like I said, start to really test this supply level and keep getting these legs and consolidation, I think all of this liquidity will be taken out quite easily if we can get something like this. I think we get a nice push up and a sweep of this high. Okay, and then maybe we get a market structure break at that point. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind if this does play out. All the while, though, I do think we're still coming back down to this equilibrium. We haven't quite tested it yet. Okay, we've swept to the quarter zone of these of this parallel channel here, right? So we got quarters, 1 here, 2 here, 3 here, and 4 here, sort of thing. Okay, so we've just tested that quarter range so far. So I do expect us to at least test the EQ and even actually still come back down to the bottom band for maybe our true cycle bottom around 55 cents. If we're sticking to our theory of SR theory, right? If we're sticking to that criteria, this upper range band here is now resistance. Okay, on the 12-hour, this is high time frame resistance, currently getting rejected, right? So in a low time frame, it might look nice on those legs, consolidation push up, legs consolidation push up, but on a high time frame, really it's just lots of resistance up here still, right? So we had a nice push up into resistance, into these wicks right here. So it would really not surprise me if this starts to break down and we come back down and we sweep these lows again at that point. And then, we basically ultimately just have this range in here where you could trade it if you wanted to, from the EQ or from the range high to the range low. But I still, my bias is to the downside to break down to the EQ, like I said. I know I cover kind of both directions in these videos. I cover the upside and the downside. So I would say a longer time frame. Longer time frame. I do expect us to come down to these levels. Okay, but in the short term, that's the key thing here, right? In the short term, shorter time frame. If we do get another leg up like this, then I'll start to look for longs. Okay, I will start to look for longs in this area, targeting the high or sweep of the high. Liquidity sitting up here. Okay. I wait for that confirmation, so to speak. I let price make a decision before I make the decision. In here, we could easily sweep all these lows down here before getting another move to the upside. Okay, so stopping people out, coming down, running their stops, scooping up liquidity, and then pushing up higher. So right here is kind of no man's land for me at this point, unless you got in on this truncated bottom down here. In hindsight's 2020, right? So ultimately, I let price kind of make the decision first, and then I will get in when I see the opportunity present itself, right? So longer term, I think we're coming down here. Short term, possibly another push up here. Okay, that key area being a push, another leg up, and reclaiming this level at around 80 cents. Okay, so that's kind of it for now. I think this would just play out longer into that area of consolidation, like I mentioned back here. Okay, this area that I'm interested in, it's the first time we've come down and entered it in it since my last video. So I think, we will see those periods of accumulation where if we do come down to that EQ and then we do come down even to the bottom band, we will start to see that area of time accumulation, early accumulation, first initial stage of accumulation somewhere in here before eventually we get that breakout, right? But this is going to take some time, as we all know. It demands that you're paying attention, right? So if you're just starting to dump capital in and accumulate in these zones, you need to pay attention as to what's price doing, what's going on as a market as a whole kind of thing. Because if we lose this level, then we really need to start evaluating those long-term positions and really what's going on in the market, right? So just time will tell, and you really got to stay patient and stay disciplined in these kinds of times. So I think it'll pay off in the long run. Thanks so much for joining, everyone. I really appreciate the engagement, the likes, and please comment. Let me know what you think about Theta. If you got your own thoughts and your own TA that you've done, I want to hear from you. Thanks again. And if you do enjoy this content, don't forget to subscribe. You can also follow me on Twitter at CryptoVatsik as well. Thanks, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.